Developing news out of Aurora. A family's home is a total loss after a major fire late last night. This is near East Nevada Place, close to the Aurora Hills Golf Course. Aurora Fire Rescue says the fire is out. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but a dog did die in the fire. The Red Cross is helping out the family, and the cause of the fire is under investigation.
Neighbors in Thornton are mourning the loss of a 14-year-old boy who died over the weekend in a hit and run. Elena Benali says her 14-year-old son Jaden was on his way to a friend's house Saturday evening when a vehicle hit him. Thornton police say the teen was riding a motorized bike near the intersection of Thornton Parkway and Huron Street. According to investigators, the driver involved here was speeding when he hit the boy from behind and then took off.
I hope you get what you deserve. He was just a baby, my baby.
Police identified the driver as 23-year-old Jeremy Nobles Jr. He faces a number of charges, including careless driving, causing serious bodily injury or death.
The prosecution and defense are asking for more time to review a mental health evaluation of a former park ranger accused of a stabbing hoax. Colorado Parks and Wildlife fired 26-year-old Callum Heskett after police say he admitted to stabbing himself at Staunton State Park last August. After the incident, there was a search for a suspect that didn't exist. In court yesterday, both parties requested Heskett's arraignment to be pushed back so they have more time for his mental health evaluation. He faces several charges, including false reporting and tampering with evidence. A jury has convicted a man accused of shooting into a Greeley bar 2 years ago. 33-year-old Jimmy Cesares opened fire in Weiler's Pub and Grill in November 2024, seriously hurting the bar's general manager. He was arrested after a standoff at a home. The jury found him guilty of 4 counts of attempted murder and 6 other charges. His sentencing is set for April.
The state of Colorado seized a car dealership in Fort Lupton after investigators found dozens of vehicles sold there without proper titles. Customers couldn't register those vehicles. They couldn't legally drive those cars because of all that. The Department of Revenue seized Off-Road Automotive back in September. Investigators reviewed 10 months of sales and found the dealership lacked titles for 48 of the 52 cars sold.
The title was never switched from the last owner to the dealership.
We learned our lesson. It was an expensive one.
If you think you may have been impacted by this, you can contact the Colorado Department of Revenue or file a complaint online. We have information about that posted in the online version of this story at 9news.com.
A decision could come soon when it comes to trans youth and gender affirming care. A Denver District Court judge could make a decision as soon as this week. 9 News reporter Lauren Scafidi is live outside the Denver District Courthouse. Lauren, this is all about whether or not Children's Hospital Colorado must temporarily offer that care for minors while the lawsuit plays out.
4 families, Corey, filed that lawsuit last month, and now this week they could get their answer. They say that Children's Hospital Colorado paused certain types of care for kids under 18 years old after what they call pressure from the federal government. Attorneys for the families argue that this is not a small issue. They say hundreds of patients could be affected by the decision. One of them is 17-year-old Raven Martinez. Raven was in the process of preparing for hormone therapy when the hospital announced the pause. Now, Raven and other families are waiting, not just for the care, but for answers. They say that they want decision makers to understand what this pause means for kids who are already on a care path and for the families trying to support them.
It's like wearing a mask. A lot of people tell you to express yourself, to take it off, but every time you do, somebody else shoves it back on your face.
We did reach out to Children's Hospital Colorado for a statement. They say that they do feel for these patients, but right now it's just too risky to continue this care because of threats to Medicaid and Medicare funding. Live in Denver, Lauren Scafidi, 9 News.
All right, thank you, Lauren. A new study shows ICE arrests have surged to unprecedented levels during President Trump's second term, while the percentage of people arrested with criminal convictions has dropped to historic lows. Researchers at the University of Colorado Boulder and UC Berkeley analyzed ICE arrest data from 2015 through October of last year. They found daily ICE arrests increased 170% following President Trump's second inauguration, compared to just 43% after his first term. The percentage of arrested individuals, meanwhile, with criminal convictions plummeted to below 30% by late last year. That is a dramatic shift from the president's first term, when nearly 80% of those arrested had criminal records. The study reveals that ICE has drastically changed its tactics, more than doubling so-called community arrests at workplaces, homes, and other public locations.
And we divide arrests into basically two categories: those that happen in the community, which you should think about as arrests of people at their workplace, at their home, in a Home Depot parking lot.
In Colorado specifically, ICE arrests have increased more than 200% here in the second Trump administration. The study will be published as a National Bureau of Economic Research working paper sometime here in the next month.